What's up, y'all? My name is Ian Edwards, and welcome to the Soccer Comic Rant. Pull this chair up a little bit. Thanks for listening on iTunes and Spotify and Omni Studio. Like and subscribe on YouTube. And we're going to talk, who's going to win the league. Arsenal played, uh, Liverpool played Man City, and then for fifth and fourth, Villa played Spurs. We're gonna talk about that, and maybe we'll talk United. We're gonna see what that Southampton do down in the Championship, and I guess fantasy league. Got the co-host Lee Hudson, stand-up comic, straight out of England, Southampton fan. What up, fam? How you feeling?
I'm all good. Big weekend of football. We just had there were lots of live games on the TV out here. Just yeah, obviously a lot of big talking points. I'm looking forward to getting into it.
Yeah, we got some title race deciders. I figure every game from now on is a title race decider. And the biggest one this weekend was Liverpool versus Man City.
Mm.
And what were your thoughts on Liverpool versus Man City?
I mean, it was a really interesting game to watch in terms of the power dynamic sort of shifting in that
Mm-hmm.
game. Like City came out, they started really fast out the traps. They had a couple of sort of half chances, and then obviously they got their goal off that corner, which maybe some little underhand tactics in the box, but it was clever. Um,
I like I
you know,
liked I liked NBA block
yeah,
pick. I like
block
NBA
slash
pick.
hold,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But they were clever with it, and it's up to the officials if they want to deem anything wrong with that. But it was a clever goal, and then second half Liverpool come out firing. They seized on the error from Ake to win the penalty. It was a horrible one from Edison because obviously he gave away the penalty and injured himself. All he had to do was pull out. It's a long way from goal, and it's Nunez. So just let him have it. Just let him have the ball. You don't need to worry, and just try and run and get back. Because that one, like it wasn't even like he sort of just tried to like poke a toe in. He went for a full like wind up and swing at the ball, and it's like you can only really do that if you know you're getting there first. Otherwise, that's trouble. And yeah, I mean, obviously, 100% a penalty. McAllister, cool as you like. That was such a calm finish in such a big moment as well. Because it looked like Edison knew where he was going, and then just yeah, picked his spot. And then it was relentless from Liverpool after that. The energy from them, they just kept jumping on the ball and getting at City. Um, Luis Diaz is such a frustrating player to watch because that guy is pure chaos for the other team and his teammates. It feels like no one seems to know what he's going to do. He's just and he got himself in so many good positions, but just no composure. I think if Salah had been in his position in some of those opportunities, it would be a Liverpool win we're talking about. But I think a draw was probably fair overall. Obviously, Doku had the big chance and hit the post. I feel like chance wise it was pretty even, possession wise it was pretty even. The way the game sort of swung back and forth, but then obviously the big talking point at the end when Doku put his foot up for that ball, I think it's a penalty. I think
Yeah,
anywhere else on the field, the ref gives a foul.
right.
And I know he sort of glanced the ball first with his foot, but if you go studs up into someone's chest, there's a foul. Um,
You don't think the
it's
player
dang.
came towards the ball a little bit?
Nah, not
Now,
really. It was in between them, and yeah,
scratch the record.
you can
It's probably a penalty. It's probably a
yeah
penalty.
you can move towards the ball with your chest. That's fine. But I think as soon as you raise your foot as high as Doku did, it's
Mm-hmm.
dangerous play. Because
Yeah,
sometimes it's a
Doku,
bit of a
use your
grey.
head, bro.
Sometimes
Literally.
it's a grey area if a player like leans right down into something and catches a
Mm-hmm.
boot. But when it was standing up there and the ball's chest high and then the studs come in, that's a penalty for me.
Right. I feel like the game was a banger. Like
Mm,
I root for United, and it's good to see teams that are pressing each other, using maximum energy, just giving it their all. And it's also good to see Man City not being able to hold on to the ball after they held on to the ball so good against us next week. They're like, oh,
Mm.
you can't handle pressure, And
Did you hear what Pep said about that?
no, what did he say?
About that's why he took De Bruyne off.
Why?
Because he wanted Kovacic on because that would help them retain the ball a bit better. He said De Bruyne wasn't doing it well enough. Um,
Right.
and De Bruyne was obviously pissed when he came off as well.
Mm-hmm. He was probably not having the best game. He probably did give it away a little bit. Like it's that Klopp thing is like they try to win the ball back a few seconds after they lose it, and they did that to City. They turned City over once they got into the game. You would, if you look at the lineups of both teams, you would expect City to win this game, but
Mm.
it's at the Etihad, at the Anfield, and they have that Liverpool place is special. I saw Kyle Walker on Vive at 5 this week getting interviewed, and he's never won an Anfield for any team that he's played. So he was hoping this would be that win. Sorry, Kyle, it ain't, you know. But just a very impressive match, and you still can't tell who's going to win the league after this game, like because like both teams went at it, and yeah, Man City looked vulnerable at points, but so did Liverpool. I feel like Liverpool had the most and created the best chances. Like they really found the gaps transitionally through
Mm.
Man City when they turned Man City over, and Haaland just disappeared. It's not rare that you say that, but he just disappeared. I feel like he had one chance, and you see his ponytail size compared to Van Dijk's ponytail size. Like he's a little wider than Van Dijk. They're about the same height, but Van Dijk was stayed with him, like did a great and amazing job, and might have gotten into his head a little bit, you know. But a lot of posts. The Foden hit the post once when the keeper Kelleher, who played a great job as a backup keeper, like staking his claim to this thing. I did a great job, and he punched the ball, punched across into Foden's face, hit Foden's face, hit the post, then went out, and that Doku chance, you know, that could have went in. So it's a very entertaining match, and who knows, man? Who knows? Like who's at the top of the table now? Is it Arsenal?
Yeah. Yeah, it's tight up there.
Yeah, just yeah, Arsenal 64, Liverpool. Arsenal's on 64 points, Liverpool's on 64, Man City's on 63. So it's definitely a three-horse race. Definitely a three-horse race. Is there any other points or facts about this game that you want to mention? Probably was a
That's pretty much
penalty.
it. Like I said, it was just a really good watch. I love the big occasion games like that, and you could sense in the stadium as well the sort of the tension in terms of the magnitude of the occasion, the fact that it was Klopp's last game against Pep in the Premier League as well,
Mhm.
because he said he's not going to manage another English team,
Right.
which managers lie. I
He
don't think
shouldn't have said
Pochettino
that.
ever thought he was going to be playing or going to be managing Chelsea because Spurs hate him, but um, yeah, you could just sense the size of the occasion, the fact that they're both within a point of each other prior to the game and now obviously after the game as well. And yeah, it felt like a big occasion. It felt like it was tense on the pitch, and that was why maybe you saw like the likes of De Bruyne not have a great game and Haaland not have a great game. Um, and yeah, it was interesting to see the Liverpool kids step up, like Bradley and Kwanzaa. Just these are the occasions that will make them better players in the long run as well, because they came through it. They didn't look out of place on this giant occasion that they've not really had that much experience of in their short careers so far. So that bodes well for them.
Yeah, they did their thing. Props to them for just stepping up and not letting this game and the competition who they're playing against, the treble winners, you know, and they just did their thing, man. So good for them.
Mm.
The next big one, was Arsenal versus Brentford,
Mm.
and yeah, man, Kai Havertz paying off. Could Arteta have been right, even if it's for just this moment? That was a big moment. Like I've seen Kai Havertz score this season, and even recently, but it's like Arsenal already up 4, then and he puts one in the back of the net. But then a few weeks ago, Arsenal was up either 2 or 1, and he scored the second goal. So I said that's a meaningful goal, and then this time he scored the winner. So getting some playing time. He should thank Gabriel Jesus for his injuries, and now that Kai is like force 9, he's putting the ball in the back of the net. Maybe he'll get comfortable, and he'll be an option. Sorry, and Ketia. That means you ain't gonna get in the game, but yeah, in the 80, I think 8th minute to I know most fans of Arsenal and especially fans of other teams in the league look at have Havertz very skeptically and like, I don't think he belongs there, but this will help to make him feel like he belongs there. Any thoughts on that game?
Yeah, it was another fun one to watch. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal almost screwed it up. It was you know, Ramsdale, the one sort of goal he
Oh
didn't want to
yeah.
give away in the game where he comes in because obviously Raya can't play. Um, and yeah, to concede a goal like that. But I mean, he kind of redeemed himself. There was the big save off of Tony's long range effort when he tried to catch him out.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was a hell of a snapshot from Tony to hit it with that technique on the half volley on his left foot. But yeah, big save from Ramsdale there, and then the one from I can't remember who it was, the header that he got his hands to and tipped over the bar
Yeah.
um, was a big one as well. So yeah, he redeemed himself. Obviously, Arsenal got the win. You were saying about Nketiah. I think he needs to. I think he needs to leave
Yeah.
Arsenal because it's like when I don't know some guy has a side chick and he keeps telling her that he's gonna leave his wife and be with her, but just never breaks up with the wife. And
It,
Nketiah, that's what Nketiah is. He's a side striker. He's never going to
it,
be the main striker. Go somewhere where you're going to be appreciated. You don't need to be Arsenal's now and again striker or off the bench striker. Just like go
it's,
go somewhere for the good of your career and be the main man.
it's messed up because he was scoring early in the season when Gabriel Jesus was injured. I think he has more goals than Jesus, and it's like, we're gonna
Mm,
start this Kai Havertz, and it's just like, I guess Havertz is a player that Arteta bought, and he has to make
mm,
guy work, and he's risking winning the title with him, but it's working out. So he's getting comfortable playing with the boys, a part of the crew. I don't think Gabriel Jesus is gonna start any game this season unless Havertz is injured. It's like,
mm,
why mix or mess up the chemistry that they got now and developed in the last few games? The game started like business as usual in the 18th minute. Like Declan Rice
mm.
put the ball in the back of the net with a header. And then you're like, all right, Arsenal's just going to have 3 goals by the end of the half. But then, nah, Brentford, they're a pain in the ass. And they got back in the game. I think it was in the second half to get back in the game. Not quite sure, but yeah, that Kai Havertz late winner, good, good, solid goal. Uh, it's just big games. It's just Aston
Mm.
Villa versus Spurs, fourth versus fifth. What are your thoughts on this banger?
Whoa. I mean, I hate seeing Spurs do well. But I've got to hand it to him here. This was a domination game for them. It was one where they turned up with a fire in their belly, clearly, because they dominated the ball. Villa were just trying to look for those breaks with Bailey and Watkins, and tactics. Emery rarely gets his tactics wrong. Like he's a smart dude. He does so much research, but he got the tactics wrong in this one. He came out with like a back five, just trying to like do something a bit different, and it backfired spectacularly. It wasn't the one. Um, because he had Konsa, Lenglet, and Torres as a back, sort of three centre backs with Dina and Cash trying to get up and down the sides, and then it just didn't work. And he got it wrong. He doesn't get it wrong often, but he got it really wrong. And then McGinn's red card was just the nail in the coffin for them, because that was such a stupid tackle. Like no attempt to get the ball. It was just a cynical, I'm going to stop you, because I don't know if they'd had some beef during the game earlier that we didn't catch or something. Because that felt personal. That tackle felt personal. It was like, I'm going to get you.
I just feel like they got pinned in their half most of the early on in the game, and they didn't feel like they were at home, even though it was a home game, and they scored 2 on them. And I feel like it's just frustration. And McGinn could be McGinn. Like, I don't like McGinn. You know, he's one of those players I don't like. Too many antics, too much flailing and falling on the ground. But that kick, like, he's normally acts as if somebody kicked him like that. And to see him do it to someone, that was crazy. Like, I didn't even think it was that harsh until they showed it over and over. That was like, you lost your mind for a second.
Yeah,
you know?
I love the way Udogie popped up like he was about to fight him, because he sort of rolled after the challenge, popped up like ready to go, and then just fell down on his leg, and just hit the floor. But yeah, it's a definite red. And then obviously, you know, Villa got 10 men. They're trying to see if they can find a way back into the game, and then Spurs just picked them off at the end for those extra 2 goals. So I think 4-0 maybe a tiny bit harsh, but I mean, Spurs are dominant. And that's the sort of victory they need to try and, you know, it's a double one for them, because obviously they catch Villa with that win, because it's a win for them. It's obviously 3 points lost for Villa. So Spurs did their thing, and you know, having Maddison back in the team as well now the last few games has been big for them as well, because he gives them a sort of extra bit of creativity there, and he took his chance really well. That cross for him was great as well. That was a pinpoint, the ball in for his goal. So yeah, they did well.
Yeah, it was a pretty good match. I'm just trying to think of some other parts. You said something that kind of jogged my memory, like when you mentioned Maddison scoring, great cross from Sarr, like pinpoint, and Maddison's there in between 2 defenders, sticks his foot out, puts it in the net. All you just need to do is touch a piece of it when it's coming across like that. Don't try to control it and do some moves. It's just press the shot button, and he did, and that went in the net. And that was good. And Havertz goal was good too. And Arsenal showing some resilience. They're not going to win by 5 every week, apparently, or they can't.
That's 2-2 for Werner now. 2-2. He's I saw a post earlier saying that Pulisic, Werner, and Havertz all scored this weekend. So it's like all the Chelsea failures are doing it somewhere else now.
Yeah, we'll see if Chelsea scores tomorrow. Who do they play tomorrow?
Tomorrow, Chelsea play. Let me just double check. Newcastle.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's tough. That's a tough Monday. Good luck, Chelsea. Good luck with that. Ooh. Yeah. I guess we could talk about United versus Everton. I mean, we won, but
you won on penalties.
I mean, they were legit penalties. So but man, the performance was just I mean, come on. and I know we have injuries. We got people out of place, but McTominay, just no assistance to any of your fellow midfielders whatsoever. And then instead of passing the ball to McTominay, just pass it to somebody on the other team, because at least you won't have to transition defense. Like, you pick out the person that he's going to give it to, instead of let him give it to the person you don't know who he's going to give it to, because it's just like no individual skill from people, like to hold on to the ball a little second and buy himself a second until a player can come in a position and help them. We just gave away the ball early a lot. It's just an ugly game. And then with you know, Everton's bad shot selection from way out, just try to boost their XG so it doesn't look that bad after the game. And then just us giving away the ball. Like, I feel like Bruno still ain't getting his props, even though he scored the penalty and then gave the next penalty to Rashford, so Rashford could put the ball in and score a penalty. Good, that's good captaincy. So I give him props for that, and he was at it defensively. I, I I did forget to say something about the Spurs Villa game. Like you talked about how Villa came out in this unusual formation. They haven't really used that since Emery's been there. They've just been an attacking highlight team, and then they went with five at the back, and it didn't work. Even though I wouldn't even say it didn't work. Like Ollie Watkins wasn't able to put away his chances. But let me just say something. Like Spurs, their five at the back is Van der Ven. Like that guy, like that guy could just mop up anything. You spill it, he's that thick sheet of bounty that just absorbs all water, and he just stops the flow of anything. Like Ollie Watkins was through a bunch of times today, and Van der Ven's like, bruh, no. I do think one of those was a penalty, the one in the box. I mean, he did get some of the ball, but he got mostly Ollie Watkins. So I do think it was a penalty. Ollie Watkins was down for a minute. But besides that, just what a player, man. What a player. Like the recovery speed, it's he if he's young, if he keeps this up, one of the best defenders the Premier League has ever seen. If he keeps this up. But what a player. Like like you can compensate for all of what's his name? What's the Argentinian? Romero's mistakes. You're good. And then Doggy's a good defender. Pedro Porro, like, yeah, man.
I don't know if they're going to have him missing again for a few games there because he went off after like 49 minutes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And Dragusin, the Romanian guy, came in and he looks fine, but he isn't as good as Van der Ven in my opinion.
Right. Yeah. And just to go back to United, because I forgot that I, didn't mention that. Just what a drag of a win. Like, I still have like a we lost vibe, just hanging over me. But I'm glad we got the 3 points, but not crazy about the performance. But, we got the injuries. We got Lindelof playing left back. I don't know why he doesn't play Williams. Like I like Ten Hag. His win percentage is what is it, 62% in 100 games or 61? So they're saying he has the best win percentage of probably any. Let me just look it up. Ten Hag's win percentage. Like let me see what they're saying about it. So I don't want to misspeak. Ten Hag's win percentage at Man United. Erik Ten Hag believes he may have won up to 3/4 of his first 100 matches at Manchester United if it were not for punishing injury list. And he said no team could cope with this. What is 10? So he's won 61 of his 100 games in the charge of the club, who sits sixth in the Premier League, 11 points behind fourth place Aston Villa. He said he would have a 75% win percentage. Let me just see, compared to other managers. Jose Mourinho had a 58.33. Solskjaer had a 54.17. Carrick had a 66, but that was like 3 games or 2 games. Ralph Ragnick had a 37.1. I'm trying to. But, Ten Hag has a trophy already in the second season. And this is why I would keep Erik Ten Hag. Because last week I was watching Vibe at 5, and after the Man City game, the derby, Joel was like shitting on how United played, how much possession City had at the Etihad, and how many passes. And Stephen Housen is smart. Like he'll do research and fuck you up. So you're saying, and he turns to Joel and says, so you're saying a coach in his second year shouldn't have low 20s in possession and such low amount of passes at the Etihad in his second year. And Joel's like, yes, he shouldn't. Should be better than that. And then Stephen Housen said those were Arteta's stats in the second year. So, like, Arteta's second year wasn't great. So, with this win percentage and the trophy that we already got and the injuries, let's see what Ten Hag can do year 3. He's made some mistakes. Number one, he refuses to play Ahmad. I don't know what that's about. It's weird. It's weird and it's not weird. Like, I get it. You spent that money for Anthony, so you being stubborn and you're playing him, but you don't even really trust him because you only put him in when there's 10 minutes left. If you really believe he's going to turn it around, you would play him, give him more time, and give him a chance to do something in a game. So that's a huge financial mistake. And then you won't play Ahmad. So you're making a mistake, make another mistake. And you shouldn't have given away. I mean, maybe the Hannibal thing is for FFP, but sometimes this team needs hustle and you got to play Hannibal. But now he's on loan somewhere. So I don't know the exact reason for that decision. But Ten Hag he's made some mistakes, and hopefully he'll learn from it. I don't know if you have thoughts on this game.
Not really. No, it's I mean, you covered lots of it there. It's I thought Bruno was unlucky with that free kick as well. Props to Pickford. That was a really good save off of that one.
Yeah.
When that left his foot, I thought that was a goal. But yeah, he's done really well there. But it's another 3 points for you guys, and I think it doesn't really matter how you get them at the moment, because rightly or wrongly, it's the results that Ten Hag's being judged on. So I think he's still figuring out exactly how he wants this United team to play, but he's getting the wins. And yeah, like you said, the amount of shots from Everton was crazy. 23 shots in total.
Well, what's the XG
but just
on
wild.
Shots? What's the XG?
It will be low.
Because the XG will tell you, like, if it's just stats or real. Because I was going to look it up. I was curious about that. Because
no, that'll be trash. I could tell you what it was. Yeah, just horrible.
Everybody was shooting from everywhere.
Where are their games?
Yeah, Everton. It's a good thing Everton got those. Was it 4 points back, or they would be in a relegation zone?
Their XG was 1.7 against you guys, which isn't like horrendous.
Oh, okay.
Still not amazing, but like
it's still not as amazing as how many shots?
23.
23 shots. Yeah. 23 shots. Your XG should be higher. So a lot of those shots were just like, I'm tired. Let me at least aim at the goal. You know what I mean? Or there's no way I can get closer. Let me aim at the goal. Please, Ten Hag, another mistake you make is you start McTominay. If you start Amrabat, he'll get more used to the league. And I'm guarantee you he'll be better than McTominay. Like, McTominay does not want the ball a lot of times when he should want the ball. I seen this kid hiding, man. And he should play somewhere for a team that he's comfortable. I don't want to, he's living the dream, but I don't want to, me trashing him does not help. I think it's time for what that Southampton do.
Oof, we had a roller coaster this weekend. We played Sunderland and we kind of owed them because they smashed us 5-0 earlier on in the season, which was that Mason Holgate debut disaster for us. But we got no Mason Holgate now, so we're all good. We went 2-0 up in the first half with goals from both the Armstrongs. Stuart Armstrong got the first one. Adam Armstrong got the second with a penalty. And then
how many goals does Armstrong have now? The one
Adam Armstrong.
Adam, yeah.
Let me have a look. Let me have a look at the top scorers in the championship. He's got to be up there because he's doing pretty well this season. He's second in the top scorers total. He's got 18.
Yeah.
And top is Sammy Smodic from Blackburn, who's got 21. So yeah, he's second in the goal scoring standings. But yeah, he scored a penalty to make it 2-0. And I was thinking it was going to be a comfortable afternoon. And then we conceded one scrappy goal to get them sort of back in it. And then Bellingham's brother, Joe Bellingham, scored an absolute worldie. Just cut inside on his right foot from like 25 yards and curled it top corner. For 2-2, and I was like, oh shit, this is bad. From 2-0 up to 2-2, they had the momentum. I was like, are we gonna mess this up? And then Joe Rothwell, who we've got on loan from Bournemouth, he came off the bench, centre midfielder, and he scored 2 goals in the 77th and 80th minute, I think it was. They were really quick, 2 goals to give us the 4-2 win. So it was a bit of a crazy one. Not good for my stress levels. I kind of need us to just be comfortable. I need us to learn how to. We've defensively for the last like month or maybe like 5 or 6 weeks, we've just been horrible defensively, just letting in goals all over the place, and we need to fix that because in games like this, it's fine when we hit our stride going forward because we can compensate for it by scoring more at the other end. But there's been other games where we've lost because we were giving away goals and then didn't score. So. A bit of a frustrating one that we didn't look more solid defensively, but yeah, it's 3 points. We needed that because Ipswich lost on Friday night. Leeds won, which was annoying. Oh no, Leeds won on Friday night. Sorry, Ipswich lost the early game on Saturday, and Leicester only drew with Hull. So we gained on Ipswich and Leicester. We stayed the same amount of points away from Leeds. And annoyingly, I was meant to go to the game on Wednesday night we had against Preston, but the game got called off because of a huge fire next door to our stadium. The stadium's fine, but the fire was burning for like a day afterwards. It was so big. So they couldn't let fans. The fire started in the afternoon of the day of the game. So I couldn't go to that one. That one got cancelled. So we got another fixture to try and fit in, which isn't ideal, but we'll try and do something with it when we can. But yeah, 3 points. I can't complain.
What stadium did you go by when you had a show there a few weeks ago and you tried to put the Juju on their stadium?
Oh, that was Leeds. I was doing shows in Leeds, so I went by Elland Road, tried to put like a hex on their stadium.
I feel like somebody from Leeds came by your stadium and repaid you the favor because that was a huge ass fire you put in the chat. I was like, what is that? You think they're LA just on fire like that?
Well, it's in like because the sort of area next door to our stadium is like an industrial estate with like warehouses and things, and it was some warehouse that was on fire. But luckily there was no one hurt or anything, which is obviously the main thing. But yeah, it was pretty messed up, so it stopped the game from being played, but no damage to the stadium, which is good. So that's why, because at one point they were like, maybe Saturday's game against Sunderland won't be on either, and I was like, that can't happen. We can't have 2 games missed because we need to get these games played. But like I say, 3 points in the end, so I'm happy.
Cool. Let me just go back to the Premier League. Just make sure. So. When is international break? Is one coming up soon?
There's another set of fixtures next weekend, and then it's the break.
And there's got to be FA Cup this week too, or something.
Yeah. FA Cups this weekend as well.
So United play Liverpool.
There's 4 Premier League games this weekend of all the teams that have been knocked out, and then there's FA Cup games, and then it's the international break.
So is the FA Cup first, and then the international break, or the international break, then the weekend games, and then the international break?
FA Cup first. FA Cup's this weekend. Premier League games are this weekend, and then international break. So yeah, you play Liverpool on Sunday.
Oh, so right after the FA Cup, then it's international break.
Yeah.
Oh, so they're playing the games on the weekend, not midweek.
Yeah. No, there's 4 games because it's the quarterfinals. There's 4 FA Cup games this weekend and 4
Yeah.
Premier League games, all mixed in same weekend.
Oh, okay. So I'm looking at Wolves versus Coventry for the FA Cup, Man City versus Newcastle, which is super interesting and good. Chelsea versus Leicester. Like Leicester's doing good in the championship, so they might give Chelsea a run for it. And then Man United on Sunday versus Liverpool. Woo. So yeah, we're probably gonna lose that. With Klopp's kids just be running and running. We look tired. He might be overtraining our team. But to be honest, even with Ollie, we always felt the team didn't play hard enough during games. And like these set of players have always been accused of not grafting enough. You know, so it's like, is he overtraining them? Maybe even overtraining them ain't even working. And undertraining doesn't work. So I don't know that the way Liverpool they just play hard, bro. Like, and they don't care. They're confident, and they lose the ball, they win it back, and they go for 50-50s. It's like a 90-minute onslaught of that. United. Where is this game being played? I lost the.
Oh, your game against Liverpool?
Yeah.
Is that Old Trafford?
All right, that might. Yeah, they tore our asses up earlier this year at Old Trafford in the league. So we'll see. We'll see, man. You want to do fantasy league?
Not really, because I've had a crap week. No, we can have a look at it. I've gambled because so in this game week, Luton and Bournemouth both have a double game week because they play each other midweek and they had games this weekend. So I loaded up. I've got 3 Bournemouth players in, and I made Dominic Solanke my captain, and then he missed a penalty, which gives them like minus points.
Damn.
So he's my captain. He's on 0 points right now, but they play Luton midweek still. So I'll get the double points. So I'm hoping Solanke can like score a hat trick in that game or something. But like I had a Bournemouth defender in there. I had the Bournemouth goalkeeper. They did nothing. These guys, they did absolutely nothing for me. I've got a Luton defender in there who did nothing against Palace other than give away a goal. The only player who scored any points for me this weekend was Garnacho because he got 2 assists for winning the 2 penalties. He got 9 points. My highest other scorer was 3 points, which was the Bournemouth keeper because he made a few saves. But I had De Bruyne on my bench with an assist and Udogie on my bench with a clean sheet. So I messed up there. Martin had a fairly good week. He had Son and Garnacho. All of his players did nothing as well, apart from Son and Garnacho. Son, obviously, assists, goals. Right. He got 17 points and Garnacho got 9. So, yeah, those guys did well for Martin. Joachim Henriksen, still number 1. He's at the top. He hasn't had that good a week, though. He's got less points than me this week because he captained Solanke as well. But
he was thinking the same thing you're thinking, which is logical. But if it doesn't work, it doesn't. The players don't play. Yeah. The players don't play.
Well, Ahmad Zekri in second place, he triple captained Solanke. So a lot of us have had this. A lot of us has had this thought.
This Solanke theory, this Bournemouth theory.
2 games in a week. It made sense because the 2 games as well. The 2 games this week for Bournemouth were Sheffield United at the didn't and Luton midweek. So they're both at home as well. Winnable. Home to Sheffield United, home to Luton. They drew 2-2. Solanke didn't score. He scored 1 and got it disallowed, and he missed a penalty. So just 0 points when he should be getting something there. But yeah, Martin didn't fall for it at all. He steered clear of all of that. But yeah, just a frustrating one on that front. So yeah, Joachim Henriksen's still number 1. Ahmad Zekri number 2. Jose Stable is number 3. Joey Duda's slipping. He's down in 6 now. You need to pick it up, Joey.
Yeah, Joey. You want to come on the podcast or what? Stop fucking
Martin's
around, bro.
Martin's in 10th, but I'm slipping as well. I'm down in 19th, but like I say, I've got 4 players that are playing midweek still, so I might pick up some extra points and hopefully jump back up a few places with that.
Sounds like Martin's up a little bit. Like he wasn't in the teens.
Yeah, we were really close at one point, and then he's had a lot like the last sort of 2-3 weeks. He's done really well, but he's got his players are done for the week now. I've still got 4 players that are going to play
All right.
in the midweek game, so I need a Solanke hat trick. I need a clean sheet for Bournemouth as well. That would be great for me. That would see me jump up a few places, but yeah, right now it's looking sad this week for me.
Hilarious. That's a good entertaining wrap up on the fantasy league. I'm trying to
Not
think
for me, it isn't.
Yeah, except for you. What do you think of Chelsea Newcastle tomorrow?
It'd be an interesting one because just Chelsea, you never know which Chelsea are going to turn up. Like they've got like all the pieces of a good team, and sometimes it comes together and they look like a good team.
Mm-hmm.
And then other times they look like 11 strangers who've won competitions to play in like a charity football game against a
Mm-hmm.
professional team. So you don't really know what you're going to get with them. It's a bit crazy. So yeah, Newcastle obviously not quite as consistent as they were last season. They've had injuries and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a hard one to call. I could see it being like a 1-1 or a 2-2, but equally, like a team, either team pinching it by a goal. I don't think there'll be more than a goal in it. I think one team will win by a goal, or it'll be a draw. I'm not. Yeah, that would be as far as I go prediction wise to not see a team winning by like 2 clear goals. I think it'll be a tight one. But I couldn't really call which way.
I can only say what I hope for. I just hope because Newcastle is 7 points behind us and we need the breathing room. So I'm all in rooting for Chelsea tomorrow, who is like they shouldn't catch us. They're like 11 points behind us. So I can afford a win by them or a draw to drop some points from Newcastle. So I just, I have to pray to the devils of the other teams to prevent them from catching us because like we got a lot of shit wrong with us right now. No left backs, forwards injured. After he got player of the month, so after he just made himself a valid, legit player in the Premier League, he's gone. I haven't seen him in games. I wonder if he's going to be healthy enough for the Liverpool game this weekend because they said it shouldn't be long.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe we get Holland back. That would be nice. Give him like 60 minutes or something like that. That'd be good. We need him. We need him. Oh, all right, man. That was quick because it was like straightforward. Like the main things were how, and that's probably a lot of the focus is like how are the top 6 gonna do this week, and then sometimes occasionally we could, if West Ham loses, which they got a late equalizer, kudos like the effort he put into that to get that cross across, and your boy Danny Ings, sublime finish. He got 1 goal ruled out, and then this one was like, all right, this one is gonna stick. So yeah, Danny Ings, a nice turner in the back of the net after controlling a hard ass cross from Kudus, and yeah, West Ham get it. How are West Ham fans feeling still about Moyes? They probably could say, well, we should have been attacking. We shouldn't have been. We shouldn't have been like under attack from Burnley.
Yeah, I think like Burnley are occasionally going to throw up a game where they remember that they aren't a terrible team, and this was one of them. And a little bit unfortunate with the own goal as well, but props to West Ham for keeping going, especially after the goal got disallowed from Ings to then come back and score. And I think Moyes deserves some credit. I think he made 2 subs at half time to try and give the team something, and it paid off because they went from 2-0 down to drawing 2-2. So yeah, I mean they still are where they are on the table, which is probably a slight overachievement still at the moment.
Hella
Given
fans that.
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean this game isn't gonna probably help with Moyes' cause with them. But I think you can't be amazing every game, and they started badly. He made some tactical changes. They came back and they got a point. So credit to him for that. And they could have won that game and there was because Kudus had another chance as well himself that he put way over the bar. He kind of slipped as he hit it. So this could have easily been a game that West Ham turned all the way around. They had 22 shots compared to Burnley's 11. They both only had 4 on target each, but yeah, it could have easily been a game that West Ham, on another day could have won without the own goal as well. So, although what I do have to say is Chelsea fans must be feeling weird watching Fofana just tear it up for Burnley since he's gone on loan there, because his goal in that game was incredible as well. It just broke to him after he rode that sort of deflection and then just top corner. Areola had no chance on that one. So yeah, he's looking a handful for them in a struggling team as well.
Is he sold or rented?
Loaned.
Loaned. All right. That's cool. All right, we'll wrap up. You got anything you want to plug?
That's Lee Hudson Comedy on Instagram. I'm going to be out in Austin next month. Trying to sort out some things there for when I'm there. But yeah, you're there soon as well, aren't you? Before me.
Yeah, I'm there at the end of this month. So I'll be there the 29th of March through to the 31st, possibly the 1st of April. So come to the mothership in Austin. Whether you can make it the weekends with me, I'm there, or it's just a dope ass club. And yeah, thanks. Follow me on Instagram at Ian Edwards Comic, and thanks everybody for listening, watching, liking, and subscribing. We love you. Be good. Enjoy the Oscars. Happy daylight savings time. A lot of shit going on around us. All right, one.